Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I have 3 very delicious zucchini recipes to share with you. Can you believe the size of this one? Seriously. Alright, if you're new here, hi, I'm Claire. Welcome. Come on in, make yourselves comfortable. We do a lot of cooking over here on this channel. So if you like easy recipes, if you like budget-friendly content, all that kind of stuff, come on over, hit subscribe. You're welcome here. I posted a short not that long ago of me harvesting some things from my garden, and I do talk about my garden from time to time here, but guys, the zucchini are going crazy out there. I have so much zucchini, and while my family loves zucchini bread, I'm basically making it every day. My freezer is full of zucchini bread. It gets a little tiring, right? Especially because I use these big lunkers to make zucchini bread. But if you're going to eat the zucchini just plain, a lot of times the smaller ones are a little bit more tender, more delicious. So I thought I would share 3 zucchini recipes because I know a lot of you also have gardens, and even if you don't have a garden that's producing insane zucchini, it is in season right now, and it's a very affordable ingredient. If you shop for things in season, you're always gonna pay a little bit less. So if you're at the grocery store and you see zucchini for a good deal, maybe you could make some of these things with your zucchini. So I thought I would just share a couple recipes to help get rid of some of these. I'm being overrun in my own home. And with that, let's get right into the recipes. All right, up first we have these tasty little Parmesan roasted zucchini slices. And you're gonna preheat your oven to 425 first, and you're gonna preheat whatever pan you're using along with it. This will just help with the crispiness factor. Now we've got half a teaspoon of onion powder, half a teaspoon of garlic powder. We're going to do like 2 teaspoons of sea salt or whatever salt you got, and a little bit of pepper, but use the seasonings you love. I also added half a teaspoon of smoked paprika. I think smokiness really goes a long way in a flavor profile. But if you like different spices, use different spices. This could be whatever you want it to be. I'm slicing up a zucchini here now. The really thin ones got a little bit burned. So I would say no thinner than 1/8 of an inch, no thicker than 1/4 of an inch. That's kind of the sweet spot. Now I'm adding a couple tablespoons of olive oil. Every time I make this, I like to do 1 tablespoon of olive oil first and then mix it and add another tablespoon because I don't want there to be any chunks in here. Because once in a while, you'll eat a piece of zucchini and you'll get just like a chunk, and then it's like not good. It's like a flavor chunk in a bad way. So I find splitting up the oil makes it so that doesn't happen. Then I'm just coating all of the zucchini in our little mixture. And remember, this pan is hot. Proceed with caution. And we're just going to spread those out in a layer. This like pan size, like a standard, I think it's like 14 inches pan, was the perfect size for this like medium large zucchini. If you're buying a zucchini at the store, it's a large zucchini. If you're growing it yourself, it's kind of a small zucchini. Now I've got about 1/3 a cup of Parmesan cheese, and I'm melting that on top. You could use other cheeses, but a relatively hard cheese like a Parm or maybe an Asiago is going to be really good for this high temperature. So we're just coating each one. Then we're putting it in the oven, 25 minutes, half an hour, right around there until they are nice and crispy. Again, we lost a few that were a little bit too thin, but most of them were perfection. And honestly, I decided to have these like for lunch. I just went ahead and served them alongside a little bit of tasty mozzarella. It was fresh, so it was like really good. A little bit of balsamic glaze. Inspiring lunch? No. But we ate vegetables today, and that is a win in my house. So good. All right, next we are doing these delicious zucchini fritters. I love a fritter of any kind, but zucchini is a great thing to use because it's so mild. It basically will just taste like whatever you put in it. And I am shredding the zucchini. I have some in the fridge from when I was making bread yesterday, so I'm going to use that first, but I know it's not going to be enough. You need 4 cups of shredded zucchini. And my food processor has a little attachment making it super easy, but you could also use a cheese grater. And you got to squeeze some of that water out of there. You don't want your fritters to be super soggy. So squeeze it first and then measure it because the volume is going to go down a little bit once you get some of that water out of there. But it's worth it. They're going to be very tasty. But yeah, you need like 3.5 to 4 cups total. of your shredded zucchini. Now we're doing eggs. Now, the average person is going to use 2 chicken eggs here. However, I raise quail, so we have quail eggs, and that's basically what we use for eggs for everything. And those are about 4 quail eggs equal 1 chicken egg. So there's 8 quail eggs here, but you will probably be using 2 chicken eggs. Give it a little mix before we add it in. Now I've got some green onions. We are going to go ahead and chop up half a cup of green onions. This is just going to add a great fresh flavor to the mix, which we love. And as far as flour, we're doing 3/4 of a cup of flour along with some baking powder. Don't skip this. You need a teaspoon of baking powder and half a teaspoon of salt and a dash of pepper. We're also going to add half a teaspoon of garlic powder, as well as some more of that smoked paprika. Because again, the zucchini doesn't have that much flavor. We really want to flavor everything else. So give that a little mix, and at first it's going to feel super dry. You're going to be like, this is not enough liquid, but just give it a minute. That zucchini is quite moist, and it will become a batter if you just let it do its thing. Now, as far as frying goes, I like to just lightly fry mine in olive oil. You could use a different oil, obviously a neutral oil, like a vegetable oil. You can make it a lot hotter. If you want to do more of a deep fry method, you totally can. I think a pan fry works totally fine for me. I experimented with a couple of different sizes. We made some mini ones for the kids, some larger ones for my husband and myself. And I decided I liked the larger one better because it just went a little bit faster, more surface area. We liked the larger ones, but this was super easy. It only takes about 3 minutes on each side, so really fast. And you could use 2 pans at the same time if you wanted these to be done a little bit faster. My husband was walking through the kitchen, so we each took a bite. He decided that his needed hot sauce. I decided I didn't need hot sauce. I thought this would be perfect with just some salt and butter. So that is how I dressed mine up. This is a great way to just get some extra fiber and extra veggies in, but also feel like you're having a little treat because it's all crispy. It's giving latke, but zucchini version. Very delicious. Lastly, we're making ratatouille. I love ratatouille. I know it's not that pretty to look at, but it's so good. The original version I got from my cookbook that I got when I was in Paris last year, but I have simplified it a bit because that recipe is huge and I don't want to weigh things and measure things. So I am using these amounts of these vegetables. I will leave all this down below. But you could shuffle this around a bit. You want it heavier on the tomato? Throw more tomatoes in there. If you want it mostly zucchini, you can even cut out the eggplant and double the zucchini. You can also use a summer squash instead. Really, the point of a ratatouille is that it is from the garden to the pot. This is like classic French peasant food of all the fresh in season things. So, this is just the ratio that I'm using that I find is extra delicious. But you don't have to. Basically, you just cube all the vegetables till they're small and put them in a pot. This is the easiest recipe, and it's so good and fresh. And you don't have to add a bunch of seasonings and a bunch of spices. I mean, you totally can, but the point of this is that its simplicity and its freshness really helps like the actual flavor of these veggies shine. I've also seen it with less onion. I like more onion, so I use a whole onion and a nice big tablespoon of minced garlic. I also am doing about 4 tablespoons of olive oil, giving that a mix. And we're going to start it off on high. I'm throwing in just like a handful of sea salt and some pepper. That is all the seasoning we're doing. And you're going to want to bring this to a boil. And I know we didn't add any liquid, but the second this starts heating up, all the liquid is going to come out of those veggies and it will start to boil. Once it boils, you're going to turn down the temperature. You do want to keep mixing this. It will get burned to the bottom. I did let mine get burned to the bottom. That did happen to me and it was my own fault. This is going to take about 2 hours. And when you're at the hour and a half mark, I like to come in, give it a mix, and I like to remove the lid at this point. This will help any of that bits of liquid that are left to evaporate. Some people like it really runny, some people like it really thick. And after that half an hour, all of those veggies are like nice and toasty. And at this point, if you want, you can leave your veggies pretty much whole. Pretty much the zucchini are the only things that haven't completely broken down. Some people go in with like a potato masher or like a mortar and pestle to make this like more mushy. I like it a bit of a combo. We've got some chunks in there, we've got some mush in there. It's great. I just eat one little bowl on the day that I make it because I prefer it cold the next day with a crusty piece of toast. So delicious. All right, you guys, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope I inspired you to eat a little bit more zucchini in your life. Let me know down below. Do you grow zucchini? Are you having a crazy year for them? Do you let them get as big as your arm, or do you pick them when they're smaller, like at a more appropriate size? Give me all your zucchini anecdotes down below. I always love to hear what you guys have to say. Make sure you come back for more content like this, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!